name is Tracy Cook, and welcome to the podcast series Victim to Victory. This series gives a voice to those that have overcome obstacles in all forms, that dare greatly to share their real stories. Amazing humans that have seen hope and risen above those adversities to become victorious, that now support and inspire others to do the same. And today we are giving a voice to Gez Perez from Australia. He's East Coast, I'm West Coast. Before we really welcome him on here, I have got some information to share about him. Hold on to your seats, get your pens and paper handy because you will want to connect with this rockstar. Gez is a author of Motivational Without the Hype, and has been a motivational speaker since he was 18 years of age. He's also a HBDI practitioner, and I'd love to hear more about that, a master coach through life and leadership, certified professional DISC emotional intelligence and motivators. And if that isn't enough, okay, if that is not enough, he has spoken in Australia and internationally, impacting many people to thrive in their life, career, and their business, which is super important. Now, he's also an enabler in helping individuals. Now, I'm reading this because this is so impactful that I want to share all the goods that our up-and-coming guest has got to offer. Teams and organizations to fast track their progress with proven strategies and tools using the Thrive method that drives outcome results. Wow, this is so much. This is so inspiring. This is what the world needs. He is a world changer. Absolutely. He is a leader. Now this is really cool. Okay, he's going to speak in a moment. I promise. But this is great. This is a motivational app. This is a motivational app. We need these. We need these so much. And it's Gez Perez Thrive that allows motivational content available and accessible on any smartphone device. Any smartphone, you can access this app. And he's also an advocate of personal development. And he hosts a podcast show. So it's great to have a fellow podcaster on here, and which is one of the top listed in Australia, Motivation Without the Hype. I love it. That showcases inspirational messages and interviews influencers, leaders, entrepreneurs, and athletes. Wow. Welcome to Victim to Victory.
Tracy, I am so honored to be on your show. Victim to Victory says it all. And what you're doing to the world and what you're providing as content and sharing it to the world, it's such a fresh of air. And thank you so much for having me. I just can't wait to share about what you want to share to the world. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you allowing me to add value to your community.
Thank you very much. And that's so appreciated. I love connecting with other like-minded people that are movers and shakers and not scared to take a stand. And the world needs leaders more than ever to pave the way positively forward. Now, who are you and where does your story start?
Okay, I love that. So, well, my name is Gez Perez, and my mission is really to help people get motivated without the hype. But there's more to that. And how that journey started is I was working previously in a corporate career as a project manager at the time, and working under a Fortune 500 company. And I was stressed out to the max, wasn't fulfilled, didn't have any purpose. However, I said, at the age of 30, I said, I want to reach this type of income. And even before I hit that age, I actually achieved that goal. However, it didn't serve my purposes at all. And because of that, I was stressed out to the core, and I call it stress eating. And every morning I would have a sausage and egg McMuffin meal with a large coffee every single morning without fail. And I would always have, if you haven't had ice cream called Bulla choc chip ice cream, oh my goodness, I had that almost every night. And so I really had bad habits. And because of this stress eating, it's really affected my life. And even though I was happy outside, I wasn't really happy inside. And the pivotal moment of what really happened to me in terms of my transformation as to where I am now is uh, I just had bad habits. I didn't know where I was going. The way of life for me was, all right, get an education, get a job, retire at probably at 60 years of age, probably travel in between, probably get kids and married at the time, and that's it. And that was my way of life. I was dictated by people's opinion to say, hey, Jess, you should do this, you should do that. So I kind of followed the crowd, but I didn't really stop and said, you know what, I wanted to do it for myself. I wanted to, live an epic life. However, what happened to me and what really changed everything in my life was I was walking halfway through the station. That's in Aussie station, but if you're American, it's Subway. And I was walking halfway, and all of a sudden, my heart was pulsating real fast. I had like mild symptoms of heart attack. My ankles were swollen, and I was stuck there for 5 minutes, and I couldn't breathe. I had short breath, and my heart was pulsating fast, and I thought I was going to die. And I was stuck there for 5 minutes. And that's when I said, you know what? I have to change my life. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I need to do it now. And I didn't have any personal development at the time. So I was like struggling from within. Went to work or came back and then went to the news agents. And I said, you know what? I got to find these men's health magazines. I went there to the news agents and I went to find Men's Health magazine. I've got like, oh, okay, this looks great. I'll get it. And I did something crazy. And people say it's power of visualization. I didn't know what it was at the time, but you know, I got to find this 6-pack ab guy. Like he's got to look really good. So what I did was I cut this guy out. I cut his face out. I put my big fat face and I planted on the door every single day. I'll look at these 6-pack abs with my fat face on it every single day. And it was there, that moment where I said, you know what, I need to find help. And so that's when I invested into a nutritional coach. I invested into a personal trainer. And that was the transformation for me. And I realized that, man, this is really hard, and then I had to change the language. I had to change everything from within. So I couldn't say it was hard. It was more of a challenge, but I had to change habits. And then I had to change the people I'm around with. Even though no one kind of taught me, I found out the way, well, if I wanted to really succeed and really get my results, then I need to be with a group of people who has the same type of mindset, who's got the same exact results. I don't want it to, and most of us, we kind of failed in a way where I'll start on Monday. We get G'd up and like, yeah, all right, I put my goal setting on Sunday and on Monday happens. And all of a sudden at lunchtime, you get tempted. You'll probably eat Macca's or KFC or Porter's, whatever it is. And like, oh my goodness. All right, I'll just start tomorrow or I'll just start next week. Right. And so I had to really change that. I had to change that habits. And 16 weeks later, then I achieved my goal. And, someone said, hey, Jess, you wouldn't even compete. So I competed. So just because I wanted to get on stage and say, man, if I can change my life in my mind and my body, man, I can change anything else. And that was the journey for me. Says, you know what? I need to invest now on personal development. I need to find where people are asking me some ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, kind of got lost. So, when you got results, people are like, how did you do it? What would you do? Was this, et cetera, et cetera. And then this is when I found the Thrive method. The Thrive method is really simple. 3 things is the mindset, skill set, and then execution. So the mindset really, as you probably know, is about 80% your mindset, 20% execution, but it's that 100% focus to say, you know what, I know I can get this through, but there are steps I need to get through it. So with the mindset, it's all about your habits. It's all about, your decisions. And then, and that's how I got my life changed in that body transformation, but it was more on the mindset and then leading me into a business mindset. I did coaching, started in 2015. I wasn't making any money. I struggled. Like I was in struggle street because all I was doing is building my coaching skills, but not my business skills. So I was struggling, right? But before even that body transformation, my mom had cancer. She had breast cancer, and thank God she's still alive. She's kicking goals. She's loving life. But at the time, that was really stressful. And I was going through transition. I was going through transformation, and my mom was going through this. And I always anchored to her because of her resiliency. She wouldn't say no at all. She just kept fighting and says, you know what, I'm going to get better. Even though she was suffering inside, all she was saying is, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get through this. And then this affirmation, I can, I will, and I must. And that's been like a prayer for me. Like that's been like my mojo every single time. And then through that journey, I had a birth of I need to write a message, and that is called Motivation Without the Hype. And people say, "Oh, Jez, motivation it is a hype." I said, "Well, it's really not, right? But it's how you infuse that motivation." And I asked them, "Well, why do people lack motivation? Why do people lack that fire? Like they get so motivated on Monday, and then they experience some trials, challenges along the way, and they still go back to zero." The reason why people lack motivation is three simple things. One is the reasons are not big enough. People, as cliche as it sounds, it's that why, but it's really the reasons. Your reasons are not big enough to move you, right? Is the reasons because you want to do this because of your family or for your kids, for your future, right? And second is the decision. You haven't really, really, really decided. So you know what? I'm going for this. That decision. And the third and final one is situations. We create a problem that's not even a problem. It's crazy, isn't it?
We're
It's
good
like,
at
oh
that.
yeah,
We're good at
yeah,
that.
exactly, exactly. And so we base our lives in situations, and we cannot get a breakthrough. It's because we've we run our lives through chance rather than choice. So a breakthrough and becoming a victorious champion, as I love victim to victory, is it's really a choice, right? Your successes in life is a choice, not by chance. Your breakthroughs to become victorious is not by chance, but it's by choice. And so our situations should never dictate our life. It's our decisions right now, right? So those who are listening, if you're listening right now, audio or video, in this amazing podcast by Tracy, who's a phenomenal human being, guys, I want you to really step it up right now. And if you're listening, I want you to say yes to yourself and work out the how later on. But it's time that you need to step up, because the choices right now that you're going to make to say, you know what, I'm not going to become a victim. I choose not to become a victim today, tonight, wherever you are around the world that's listening to this podcast, to say, hey, I'm going to become victorious. I'm going to make a choice today, because the decisions I'm going to make right now is going to determine my future for tomorrow. And I want to encourage you today that you can make it happen, that you can live this best life. And you've got supporting network. You've got a great podcast community like Tracy does. And I want you to really elevate. And I want to encourage you, there is hope. There is another way. And we're all here to help you. And you know what? Just rise up. Say yes. And again, I'm not here to tickle your ears and, oh, I feel great, I feel motivated. No, it's all about making those decisions, right, for your future, to say, you know what, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to become a victim. I want to stop the blame game, but I want to take ownership and responsibility for my life, because I know who I am, right? Because I'm more than enough, right? You are destined for great things. And that comes from out of your comfort zone. So if you're in your comfort zone right now, it's time to step up. And I encourage you to step up, because if I can do it, if Tracy can do it, and all these amazing guests who can do it, you can do it as well. So my encouragement to everyone tonight, on today, or wherever you are in the world, is say yes to yourself, because you can make it. And the Thrive method is all about the mindset. It's all about combining your skill set. And the third is executions, by taking action. And you can really kick out the procrastination. If you're procrastinating right now and saying, you know what, probably do it tomorrow, probably do it next week. But it's all about a decision, right? If you make that choice right now, you will get your breakthrough. If you make that choice, don't live it by chance by tomorrow. Do it today.
Now, I really like the way that you actually explain the 3 steps, because I find that a lot of people come in and they go, I really want to change, and they're motivated. And I'm so glad you tapped into, they do that on the Monday, and by Thursday they're still going through the drive-through and buying KFC and sitting there watching Netflix, and the book has got the bookmarker sitting on the shelf for the rest of the year. Now, I'm sure that a lot of people, and you probably see this within kind of like a coaching and speaking space as well,
Yeah.
where people will do the first 2 steps and they don't follow through on the third one.
Yes.
And it all, our whole life can change. And we know this just from making that one decision to move
Absolutely.
forward. And
Yes.
everything
Yes.
starts with mindset. So
Yes.
do you find, and I'd love to know the answer and what your perspective is of this, do they do the first 2 steps and kind of go, yeah, this isn't too bad, and not follow through on the third one?
Yeah, and that's the problem. That is the issue, and the challenge is the follow through. They reach a certain point, and then they kind of, oh yeah, this is great. But then this is where, if we really want to perform at a high level, that if you want to go from transformation to transition, and it's that energy, it's we all heard about SMART, right? Smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, in time. But we need to be smarter. So I like the E and R. So the E is all about energy. And it's not the type of woo-woo type of stuff. I'm talking about energy, like you put your mind, your energy, your blood, sweat, and tears. And then the R is resiliency. And this is the element that people are missing is we need to be resilient. You are gonna, it's inevitable. You are gonna get challenges. You are gonna get knockbacks, right? But I'm a true believer that every setback is a setup for a comeback every single time. And that third step really is resiliency. It's all about building great habits, right? It's all about supporting network, right? You can't do this alone. I stress enough that you can't do this alone. You need to have someone with you who has the same wavelength, right? Because as you level up, you need to have people around you that supports you, that loves you. Can you imagine the reason why we're not propelling as fast as we can? We're not as in pace, but really it's the environment that you're in, right? And you mentioned, Tracy, perfectly, is the mindset, right? People are still having these belief systems, right? And we need to move from beliefs to abundance, and at the same time taking action and testing it out, right? It doesn't matter if we make mistakes along the way. It's only feedback to getting better. So for me, it's never failure for me. I always think it is feedback. Okay, what can I do to get better? Yep, right. It's I'm gonna get challenges along the way, but I always change that emotions for feedback. And this is the reason why I'm an advocate for personal development and mindset and behavioral tools and things of that nature, because I understand that if you have self-awareness and you know your capabilities, you know your strengths and your challenges, it gets you a lot more better. And I love what you said, Tracy, about follow through. And that's the third step, right? Is the execution part's all about, you know, never ending improvement, right? It's all about how do I get better? How do I get better as a human being? You know, and the five levels, the five pillars of life is love, wealth, health, and happiness, and your spiritual life. And you know, we may not have a bit of a like similar balance, but sometimes we are out of balance. We need to find and figure out ways. Okay, if I'm out of 10 being awesome and one being not that great, am I doing really well in my finances? Am I doing really great in my relationships, in my health? Right. And so we need to get better every single day. And it's all about follow through. But it's mindset, yes. Taking action, yes, but it's the right action. We can take as action too many, there's so many gurus out there. Oh yeah, take action, but they take the wrong action, and because they lack strategy. And so this is the reason why it's important to have either coaches or mentors or people around you who's been there before. Like yourself, Tracy, you're experiencing what you do, and you created so much caliber and so much strength around that, that I don't want to go to anybody else. If you already got your breakthrough and you've done it at this way, why do I want to reinvent the wheel? Right. And that's the importance of connecting with someone, being the same wavelength and environment that's going to help you propel. Right. And that's how I see it. Having consistent motivation without, that's why I said motivation without the hype. And it's all about making decisions, right? It's all about making those choices, but the right choices, and then how you can improve that. And again, people said, oh yeah, it's so much fluff, right? So many fluffs around there. It's like, oh, I cringe. But it's all about, yes, there's so many steps towards that. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how badly do you want it? And again, number one is your reasons. The reasons are not big enough.
Definitely. And I think that it's really important too. And I like the way you kind of led into it as well. I think a lot of transformation is who we're hanging around as well. And I liken it to
Yes.
crabs in a bucket. You know, you've got crabs in
Yeah.
a bucket, one's trying to get out, and the rest are pulling it back down, going, don't go
Yeah.
out there. It's unsafe. I've heard that it's really really cruel out there. We want to keep you safe. And then those limiting beliefs and that social conditioning kicks in, and we listen to that little inner critic on our shoulder that kind of
Yes.
goes, oh, maybe they're all right and I'm wrong. And I love it how you mentioned that, you know, your why must make you cry. You must feel your
Yeah.
why. It must be bigger than you. It must be
Yes.
purposeful and impactful, and you don't
Yes.
have to have the hype. And you know,
Yes.
if you're saying, oh, I just get tired. You're not tired. You're just uninspired because your why isn't
Yes.
big enough. And
Yes.
I love that you mentioned on so many different techniques and strategies as well, because there are people out there, and especially since 2020, we need leaders more than ever. And there are a lot of
Absolutely.
people that are doing the busy work, right? Because
Yes.
they've watched all these free webinars, and they're following Gary Vee on YouTube, and they're doing what he says, but they're not at that level yet.
Yeah.
So there's no use going for six figures if you don't know how to make your first 20 bucks. And,
Absolutely.
you got to have the strategy laid out for you. Join mentors and things like that have paved the way before you or have done the
Absolutely.
work so you can
Yes.
follow what they've done. And this is the piece
Absolutely.
that we're missing.
Come
Um,
on.
what would you say to those kind of concepts?
You know what? I agree on that level, 200%. And there's a difference. The good thing and the right thing, right? So the good thing is, yeah, I'm building myself up. I want to be, I have aspirations, but it may not be the right thing, right? And so there's a lot of distinctions about, okay, I want to build my coaching skills and so forth. That's a really good thing, but I'm not making money out of it. And so it's not the right thing, right? And so it's really important to have that distinction as well, is that, yes, you got to be authentic. Like, we remember we had that early conversation. It's all about being authentic. It's authenticity. People want to come to you not because you have an amazing product or amazing program. It's because they want to have the same exact results as you do, right? And so wherever level you are right now, is you just need to conquer that level and then go to the next level, right? But as you and you mentioned, like, it's called the cram mentality, and people. That's why I tell my clients, hey guys, I know this is only for a season, right? And it's not forever, but for now, go to your contacts list on your iPhone or your Android and temporarily just block them. And I'm not telling you to cut them off. I'm just telling you to just stop the association right now, because when you probably experience this, Tracy, all the time, is that you get your friends, right, and they see you and you're elevating and you're doing amazing thing. You're impacting the world. You're becoming a history maker, a change maker, impactors of every continent of the world, and they support you, but they're not with you. It's like, yeah, awesome, yeah, you're doing a great job, but never an ounce will they come and support you and actually be with you in that battlefield. And so and what they do is, because you're taking up, like, so, and you're actually taking action, it's a reflection of themselves. Like, oh my goodness, she's taking action. What about me? I'm not doing anything at all. So what they do is, hey, by the way, I think you need to step it up a little, just pull back a little bit, because I think it's a bit too much. And you get that a lot, where people are your friends, but they want to put you back to their level because they feel that they're not threatened. It's just because you're taking action and you're experiencing results. What we put in is what we're going to get, right? So if you put in the effort, the time, and being smarter, putting goals and achieving life and then having the right type of people don't like that, right? And this is where we probably need to block the noise and do what gives you happiness. I think we kind of disperse a lot of happiness, but we don't really feel happy and do what we love to do. And this is why I experience a lot, and you've probably seen it with your clients, is, people want to find their purpose. And for me, I always say that, your passion will always lead you right into your purpose, right? So if you love what you do, you'll find different ways and strategies to either connect with someone, whatever gaps you may be. And this is where improvement happens, is, what are the gaps that I'm missing that they're doing that I'm not doing yet? And when you apply that, you get more closer. So I'll leave one analogy is, like, on the other side of the bridge is our goals, our dreams, and aspiration. We want to be that type of person, or whatever goals it may be. And so from the other side of the bridge, this is where we probably need to cast our vision, to say, okay, I have this power of vision. I cast the vision, I see it there, and then you birth that type of mission. Like, yep, okay, I'm on a mission, and then you anchor with the purpose. But from where you are to where you want to go, in between, is not just the action. It's all about taking the right strategies, because you can go straight, but if you just pivot a little bit, at the long run, you're going to miss your goal. And so this is the reason why we need to have the right type of strategies, plug into the right type of people. If you are lacking right now, that's okay, right? You just need to evolve and don't wait, and I always say to myself, and the clients and those who are listening right now, is, it's never too late to start, but it's always too late to wait. So don't wait things to happen. I'm waiting for the opportunity. I just got to wait. It will come. If I speak to the universe, and I'll pray or whatever it is, it's coming. No. we need to create that opportunities. We create those opportunities, right? Because we position ourselves. And I'll leave this last quote. Zig Ziglar quotes, and he says that success occurs when preparation meets opportunities. And so if you prepare yourself, right, and you position yourself, right, that's when you're going to create some opportunities. You're going to get a lot of momentum out of that. You know, you build your social proof, whatever. If you're a service-based entrepreneur, or even if you're in a career right now, you know, it doesn't matter where you are. Some people tend to think, oh, I got to start my own business, but that may not be your calling. You're probably going to be like the corporate rock star who's changing the world, right? Because everyone's have different type of callings. Everyone has their own different purposes. We're not bundled to one type of thing, you know. But if it gives you happiness and gives you fulfillment, do that.
100%, because things don't change unless things change, right?
Yeah.
We can't expect to get up every morning and put our pants on the same way and drive to work the same way and expect different results. Like, it just doesn't happen. So for things to change, and it doesn't have to be all at once, you know. You mentioned it back to healthy eating and things like that. I mean, just little things, the compound effect, just the little daily consistent actions that are eventually going to get you to where you need and want to be. And what's going to keep you going, and you hit the nail on the head with this, and what's going to keep you going is your mindset. Is your mindset. Because on those days, and I love the words I am, and I love the words until and despite. I love them, because you can say I am as your affirmations, and you can feel it and you can believe it. And I love your take on this as well. But, you know, you've got to show up until XYZ, despite XYZ. And if you don't know what your XYZ is, you're just going to fall back into those old habits again as well. Would you agree that that's where people's mindsets go?
Absolutely. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. Everything that you just mentioned about the X, Y, and Z is totally true. And I think that's the reason why people are struggling right now is, you know, yes, the I am, the affirmation, but again, it's the taking the action, but we're always improving, right? It's all about our habits. And if our habits are not dealt with, we can always go back to zero every single time. And that's the reason why but you got to say no, as in, like, enough is enough. And I think we need to put that energy and emphasis. This is it. I'm stopping. I'm not going to do this anymore, right? So we got to we got to stake our ground. But at the same token, we need to do our due diligence to say, okay, now that I said no, then I need to follow through, right? I need to follow through. And a lot of people, when it comes even for goals and writing things down, so many times majority of the time, they just think in their head, but that's it. But you can't. You need to write it out. You need to, and again, it's all about energy and resilience. It's all about that effort, right? So you've got to write it down. You've got to do things that's kind of out of your comfort. But if you're always stuck in your head every single time, nothing's going to happen. It's like the 3 old men of life, right? Hoping, wishing, waiting, right? The hope for this and the wait for this and wish for this, and nothing happens, right? And I think, like you said, you know, I am, despite, really, really important. And I think we just need to say yes. We just need to say, you know what? I think it's time. But sometimes it becomes too late, and then we experience like what I experienced, that pain. But I wanted to reverse that. So, you know what? I don't want to live this life anymore. And I think it's time to change. And again, transformation, your breakthroughs, your successes doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice.
Now, if I could just ask one question. When you're tested, you've done so much personal development. You're helping so many people. And when you're feeling that pressure, and when you're feeling that stress, and you're feeling as though your mindset isn't on the top of its game for that day or that hour or that week or that month, what things do you put into place to overcome that, to, you know, new level, new devil, right? We normally switch our mindset. I believe the more obstacles we've got in our path, it's just the universe or God or creator, whatever people call it, is putting things just to see how bad we want something as well. It's like, nah, bigger. I'm going to give you another obstacle because I want you to go bigger. And what do you do in those kind of situations personally?
You know what? That's a really great question. And I love that question. So, I don't have, we all have a day, have our days. We all have our stresses. We all have our moments. And I do this a lot on my seminars and talks because I've experienced myself. Sometimes I get a lot of no's. And there was one pivotal point. It was like 2 years ago, 2019. I had five major clients, potential clients. So I did 5 pitches. And so in these 5 pitches, I worked my butt off in terms of I went through, I looked into the organization, their vision, their purpose, the organization from top down, right? And these are the 5 pitches I wanted to do, and I had the chance to do it, and I didn't get I didn't get the coaching gig at all. I only had one because I was so desperate and I undervalued myself, and that was more depressing. And it all happened one go, that whole entire day. And I can remember it because I was on the phone call and I had 5 phone calls from HR. Says, Mr. Perez, unfortunately, you're not successful. We probably gave it to another coach. And I walked out, and I was in North Sydney at the time. It was North Sydney train station. I looked at the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and I said, why? Like, and people don't see this. Like they only see the outer, but they don't see from what you're experiencing, and you don't show that. But what it does, it builds your character. It builds humbleness and humility. And for all this time, I was like high flying. Yeah, I was closing clients and doing amazing things, seeing people's lives change. But it was these 5 things, because they're massive contracts. Well, if I get this gig, oh man, I'm set for 2 years, right? And I didn't get it. And it taught me a valuable lesson. And I said, you know what? I suck. I'm bad at this. I don't know what to do. And I sat down, and then I did a bit of prayer. I was like, I was just desperate. And then I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna give myself 5 days. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna give myself 6 days. I need 6 days to feel that I'm crap. But let me tell you, on that 7th day, I will rise again. And so I wanted to allow myself to become more human. The reason why people burn out and stress out is because they're still carrying this, right? And they deal with it. That's kind of the outer layer. They think that's okay. I deal with it. I can write the pros and cons and write down my problems and things like that. But they don't experience the feelings and emotions. And so I went through that sixth day of not doing anything to say, man, I'm crap. Just get my emotions out of the way, the stresses, the setbacks, for 6 days. But let me tell you, on that 7th day, because I put a timestamp, and I think that's what's important for everyone that's listening right now. If you're going through in life that you're kind of like stuck in the rut, or there's a roadblock in front of you, it's okay, right? Because these are the opportunities where champions rise to the occasion. So if you're listening right now and you're kind of in a bottleneck right now, that you can't find the way, it's unclear to you, there's no clarity at all, I want you to just let the emotions out. Just go through it. I wouldn't say go over, just go through it. Once you go through it and you put a timestamp, so at this day, at this time, I've done my part, I'm moving forward. That 7th day, that's when I created my ebook. I created a 21-day course. I did so many things on that week because of that 7th day. I said, yep, I own it. That's cool. And now I've got clarity, I got certainty, and it gave me confidence that, yep, I experienced it. That's done. I'm over it now. That's it. Cool. I think that's why it's important. And I've coached so many clients who are in stress mode and can't find their breakthrough. I said, just allow it. Just give yourself time, but put a date, right? Because people don't put date. They just leave it to the year. No. Leave a date where you can experience it. You know what? 6 days, 7 days. That's why I put the 7-day challenge. I say, put a 7 day. After the 7 day, you're a completely new person. You've experienced all the emotions out of the way. You're human, and that's okay. And
I
people need
think
to
that
hear.
reminds me so much of Les Brown. He said, it's okay to fall flat on your back because you can look at the stars.
You took my words already. I was like, oh, yes, you're exactly right. Exactly right.
Oh, that is wonderful and great advice there as well. You know, it's okay to feel down. It's how you're actually going to get up, because we can't
Absolutely.
control what's going on outside of us, but we can
Yes.
control how we react to it. So that's
Yes.
so
Love it.
important, especially in these times, more important than
Yes.
ever, I believe.
Hmm.
Now, what kind of I know there's a lot of golden nuggets here. I know there's a lot of light bulbs going off in our audience. I can see it and feel it already.
Oh
But
man, we're having so much fun.
what kind of message would you like to leave the audience on today?
My message for you is to, say yes. And moments ago, when I said that you're experiencing some things, it's okay. I want you to rise up. And I love, a quote from Zig Ziglar again is, the fear factor, right? We face everything and we run, or we face everything and we rise. And I want you to say that you can live an epic life by making that choice today, tonight, wherever you are around the world. And I want you to do that you are more than enough. And if you're listening right now, you are destined for great things. So I want to encourage you to impact the world, whether it's large, medium, or small, wherever you are right now, you can make an impact as of today.
Very impactful, powerful, life changing, mind changing
Yes.
words. And I thank you so much for being
Thank you.
brave to share your story of where you were and where you
Mm.
are now. And we'll be sharing where to connect with you as well. You are so appreciated in the Victim to Victory community. And you can find the Victim to Victory podcast series on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and our Facebook group as well. So please subscribe, share, comment to help be the change that the world needs. Now, let me leave you with a message. We appreciate you here so much of step into your story, figure out who you are, and do it on purpose. Thank you very much. It's been great.
Thank you.